guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. And in today's video we're going to be going through probably one of the most important tipping videos, or the most important tipping video of the year. The time has come. There's one remaining game left in the 2023 AFL season, and it is the grand final between the Pies and the Lions, 2:30 p.m. on the 30th of September, the last Saturday in September. Stakes through the roof. It's going to be a ripper. It's going to be absolute ripping game at the G. First v second. We haven't seen, I feel, a grand final first v second in a while. I think it was 2014 the last time we saw the two top sides that finished first and second on the ladder actually faced off on grand final day, and that was, last played between Hawthorn and Sydney in 2014. So, usually you get like the third positions, the fourth positions making the granny. However, no, this year we've got first and second. So, quite frankly, the two best teams in the comp going head to head on the last Saturday in September, should I say. And fair credit to both sides. We do know, like, during what they've shown during the home and away season, we know they are the two best sides in the competition. And I feel like this grand final is the perfect way to end it. Had the potential to be a Collingwood-Carlton grand final. However, Brisbane ended those hopes on the Saturday night. And, the two best sides coming head to head on the last Saturday in September. So, always keen for grand final day. And this one, obviously we haven't seen, a genuinely good grand final since 2018. The grand final between Collingwood and West Coast, where Dom Sheed sealed it from the boundary in one of the best grand finals. The best grand final I've ever personally seen, because I'm 16 years old, so probably the best I've ever seen. But genuinely one of the best grand finals up there we've seen in a long time. And ever since 2018, 2019 through to 2022 has been shocking grand finals, whether or not they've been played at night time, interstate, just blowouts. That is literally all the grand finals we've seen over the last 4 years are either blowouts or played in a different state or played night time. Now, finally back last year is when they resetted everything, resetted the schedule, went back to the MCG for the 2:30 p.m. time slot. And I feel like this grand final we have got on our hands in 2023 is outstanding, is absolutely outstanding. It is the Collingwood Football Club versus the Brisbane Lions. $1.75 towards the Pies and $2.10 towards the Lions to get this one done in this grand final clash for 2023. Now, you're obviously here for my grand final predictions. Before we do get into the predictions, may I just say that I am a tipping powerhouse this final series. I have not got one tip incorrect for the whole final series. Before the final series started, I did a final series predictions video where I got left a fair bit of advice in the comments from other people saying, this isn't going to happen, mate. You're dreaming. You're dreaming if the Giants are getting up over Port in Adelaide. You're dreaming that the Giants are getting up over the Saints. These aren't going out in straight sets. And, I've predicted literally every single result before it's happened. And I'm one game away from predicting the entire final series correct. And if I want that to happen, I need the Pies to get up for me. However, this is my updated prediction, so it's completely different to my video that I made 4 weeks ago before the final series actually started. And, because both teams, they've been showing maybe a little bit of good form, maybe a little bit of poor form, and you can't really base the two teams off where they were 4 weeks ago. So, Collingwood and Brisbane at the MCG, 2:30 p.m. It's going to be a grand final for the ages, although a Carlton-Collingwood grand final would have been absolutely insane. I feel like we do have the two best teams in the competition going head-to-head. Now, if we look back to the last time these two sides played at the venue in the MCG, which is obviously the grand final venue, it was back in 2017, so really not much we can take from the venue. However, we can also take away that Brisbane at the MCG have had their struggles. They've had their problems. Obviously defeated by Hawthorn there earlier on in the year, which does really prove to be, a venue where they don't really do face up against their opponent, but also against the Hawks in general, they're not really the best side. The Lions, they don't have the greatest record against the Hawks, but nonetheless, at the MCG across the last, genuinely 6 to 7, honestly 10 years, the last 10 years, Brisbane at the MCG, they just haven't seemed good enough. And come grand final day, I feel like the venue is going to play a huge factor in it. Obviously, the MCG is home to the Collingwood Footy Club, and they've also just played their last 2 finals games at a home deck in the MCG. Now they've got a home final at the MCG, their home deck. So, yeah, the stadium is huge, and a lot lies on where this one's being played. Obviously, in Melbourne, Collingwood, whole home and away season, they're at home, they're at the G. So, the deck is going to be zero issues for the Collingwood Footy Club, I think. But when it comes to the Lions, we know that they've had their struggles there in the past. We know that they do have a few problems coming to the MCG to play any team. And come grand final day, I feel like, the venue's going to have a lot to say whether or not the Lions do get up or not. Obviously, Collingwood are favourites coming into this one. I probably genuinely would say because of the venue as well. However, if we look at the last few results earlier on in the year, the Lions are 2-0 against the Pies, which is going to make this one a real interesting clash. Collingwood play better at the G than they do at Marvel, which is where the Lions did knock them off only like a little over a month ago. But then they also did knock them off at the Gabba earlier on in the year at the very start, so we can't really take much from that. But the Lions 2-0 against the Pies this year. So that's really promising signs for the Lions coming into this one. However, transitioning from Marvel to the MCG, it's going to say a lot. It is going to say a lot, and it's going to be a problem, I think, for the Lions. I think I've got to keep true to my heart, and I think I'm going to be backing in the Pies to win the 2023 AFL Grand Final. I was actually just looking at my season predictions from the very start of the season yesterday, actually. And I did tip the Pies to get up in the grand final versus Richmond. So I don't know where I went off there, but I did technically tip Collingwood to get it done for the Premiers earlier on in the year before the season even started. So you could say maybe in my predictions videos, I could be that bloke. I could be him. I'm just guessing all these games correct, which I've never actually been able to do before. So it's pretty impressive if you ask myself. But yeah, Collingwood, Brizzy, 2023 grand final. This is insane. This is huge stuff. One of the best grand finals we'll see in a while. I feel like it's going to be a close game until the premiership quarter, the third term, whether it be at the very start of the third or midway through. The Pies, they're just going to edge a little bit closer to being certain premiers, and come three-quarter time, they'll be up by 4 goals. It'll be a tough task for the Lions to really keep at them, and I feel like Collingwood will run away with the 32-point victory, maybe on grand final day. It could be a bit too much. Now I'm really hoping that this grand final doesn't come to 32-point margin, but just thinking in my head right now in my current stage, I just have a feeling they're going to run away with it later towards the end of the game. We saw Brisbane horrendous start against Carlton on the Saturday night in the prelim. They conceded the first 5 goals of the game, so credit to come from that big of a deficit, especially in such high stakes. Like, there was a fair few Carlton fans cheering on the Baggers at the Gabba on Saturday night, so credit to the Lions for coming up after a 5-goal deficit, conceded the first 5 goals of the game. So you can't really say anything about the teams because the Lions are literally 2-0 against them this year, so the Lions can match up against them well. Coming to the G, though, it's going to be the problem. 100k in the house. Heavily, I wouldn't say one-sided. It's obviously going to be one-sided, yes, but there'll still be a fair bit of Brisbane fans in the house back from the Fitzroy days, and there'll be a fair few Brizzy fans travelling down from Queensland to get down, make the trip to the G for grand final day. However, I'll say it's like 70-30 split maybe to the Pies. It's obviously sold out. Ticketek's already having its issues, like they always do, Ticketek. However, Pies get up by 32. It would be astonishing, pretty much, if the Lions were able to get up, because it would be genuinely like mind blowing. I don't think it's going to happen. And obviously coming in this game as major underdogs, should I say, the Lions. So a lot riding on their back, and it's been a long time in the coming for the Lions. So it's good to, get them this success and make it to the grand final. Even if they don't get it done, well, they've made it here finally. They've had the few years now to get to this position. Anyway, I'm going to back in the Pies to get this one done by 32 points. Although I do not want it to be that big of a margin, I want it to be obviously under a goal, so it's an entertaining game of footy, a grand final in which it should be under a goal, just real tight footy, and hopefully, hopefully there's a few goals scored as well. No, I really don't hope for a low-scoring game. That's obviously what most finals games bring. However, I want a fair bit of scoring, and I reckon the Pies, unfortunately, cruise home by 32 points. Hopefully the margin's smaller, but I'm going to go Collingwood by 32 is my grand final prediction. Yeah, so that's all I've got to say. That's it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like and subscribe. I'll try and get a fair few videos out during the week based on the grand final. Really keen for this. It's going to be huge. I won't be streaming the grand final. However, I might whip up a stream during the week just so, me and you guys can have a chat about the game, maybe do some quizzes, some cahoots, and just, have a good time before we do get into this massive grand final clash. So, keen to see who gets it done on the Saturday, and I'm going to back in the Pies to get it done. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, subscribe to the channel down below if you are new, and I'll see you all in my next video.